since LSU's loss Saturday to Vanderbilt, 31-24, the natives have been restless, as you might imagine. Fans are unhappy. It's the first time in 35 years that LSU has lost to Vanderbilt. It was a 10-game winning streak. They don't play very often, but the game, Mike Archer is the head coach, 1990. Todd Kinchin looked like he had caught the game winner and was flagged for offensive pass interference, and LSU lost to Vanderbilt. It's the last time it had happened. So I understand very much the fan unrest when you have all of the expectation that accompanied this season, and my hand is up in the air. I have been a big part of pushing that expectation. And I do believe, still, as I sit here, pushing that expectation was justified. You had a fifth-year senior quarterback, the leading returning passer in college football, tons of offensive weapons. The head coach told you they went and spent $18 million when a year ago that number was about $5.5 million that they dumped into this roster. You had the number one portal class in the country, a manageable schedule where you avoided back-to-back road conference games at any point on the slate. Yeah, I believe the hype and the expectation around this team was warranted. And I, as some of you pointed out this weekend, said 8-4 would be a cataclysmic failure. And I believe 8-4 with this roster is a cataclysmic failure. When you have a coach that you're paying $9.5 million per year, all that you've invested in the staff, the support staff, the roster, all of it, yes, you should have a greater expectation than losing to Vanderbilt. Absolutely. So I'm not going to sit here today and tell you, Simadana. I'm not going to do that. You want to be pissed? Be pissed. You should be. I'll never tell you lower your expectations. Because when you lower your expectations, that's when complacency starts to settle in. And that's not a good place to be. I want there to be giant expectations. So you hold people accountable when they fall short of those expectations. Now, I know since Saturday, a lot of you have yelled, fire the coach. A lot of y'all are ready for the Brian Kelly era to be over here in year 4. Well, I'm here to tell you that's not going to happen after this season. At least it's not going to happen on LSU's accord, meaning they're not going to fire him. As a matter of fact, one booster told me on Sunday the word he used was there was no appetite to pay Brian Kelly $57 million after this season to make him go away. And the thing that some people acknowledge, realize, understand is a thing that I've mentioned here. Whether you agree with it, like it or not, it's the reality. LSU's lost 2 games, both road conference games to ranked teams. Now, the expectation, if you want to win championships, you got to beat ranked teams on the road. It's hard in the SEC. I get it. But the ceiling has been lowered. The floor has been raised. All the teams have been compressed. Georgia, which looked so dominant a half decade ago, just gave up 35 on its home field to Ole Miss and had to survive a game where they had to rally. Texas, they run over Oklahoma. A week later, they need overtime to eke past Kentucky 16-13. You all know the drill. You know the count. So, all that to say, I get it. It's Vanderbilt. I get it. It's Vanderbilt. But Vanderbilt's pretty good right now. They've invested in a good coach, a good staff, facilities. They got a quarterback who's a hell of a playmaker, really veteran team. They know who they are. They execute what they do really well. You made way too many mistakes. You lost. Not good. Not acceptable. I get it. But you're going to lose games like that. If you're looking at Kelly and what his future may hold, here's what I'll tell you. And I did get his contract this weekend. So I read through Brian Kelly's contract this weekend. His contract runs through 2031. It was a 10-year deal, $95 million, with 90% buyout owed if at any point he's terminated without cause, right? So if LSU were to fire Brian Kelly without cause, they'd owe him 90% of the balance, which this year is north of $50 million. And it would depend on when it is because it's monthly installments and all that stuff. So if it's $53 million, it's north of $50 million, put it that way. They would owe him north of $50 million this year. That number, there is mitigation, so that number would be offset if he got another job. By the way, that number would be offset if he got a media job as well. So again, hypothetically, and I want to be very clear, I do not believe this is going to happen. So for those of you like crossing your fingers and holding your breath, like I do not believe it's going to happen, nor do I think it should happen. But if they were to fire him, they'd owe him north of $50 million, and his buyout would be offset by anything that he would make either as a coach or in media, which is important. Like if he didn't want to coach again, went and got a job at ESPN, whatever he was making on his TV deal, that would be his buyout would be offset by that number. I think the real key is if you are someone who is like crossing fingers, lighting candles, ready to move on, you're just done with the Kelly era. And again, I'm not there. If you are, though, I'm just giving you information. That if he leaves, you would not owe him a buyout. Now, there could be some negotiated terms of some type of settlement or something along those lines, but you would not owe him the balance of the contract. Let's say Brian Kelly retires after this year. 63 years old, decides, you know what? I'm not with it anymore. I want to go do the Nick Saban thing and go do TV, go work on game day, go be a studio host somewhere, be around the game, but don't have to worry about recruiting and NIL and all that stuff. Then LSU owes him nothing for the balance of his contract. That is your potential out. And I don't know that that's going to happen. I want to be really clear about this. So, and I know sometimes when you do segments like this, people get crossways between like what your understanding is of my opinion and what is I'm just sharing information with you. So I'm trying to be very clear about what is my opinion and what is just me giving information. Like me giving information is this, right? I'm telling you what his contract says and all that sort of stuff. That's me giving you information. I'm telling you based on conversations I've had, there is no appetite to spend $50 million to buy out Brian Kelly. That's not going to happen. Like I would fall over stunned. I mean, if they lost out and went 5-7, I still don't know that there's an appetite to spend $50 million to buy out Brian Kelly. Okay. And by the way, I don't think they're going to lose out. I do think they're going to win one of A&M Florida, or excuse me, A&M Alabama, Oklahoma at least, because it might be this weekend. College football is weird. Like as much as down as you are right now on LSU, they're a 1.5-point dog at home against A&M. You could tell me they can't win that game? I'm not saying they will. Can they? Hell yeah, they can. Anyway, let me not get distracted. One thing I could see happening, and I'm telling you this as an opinion, not rooted in anything other than just my opinion reading a situation. Are we clear? I'm not breaking news. I'm not reporting news. I'm not telling you anything I've heard. I'm just giving you my opinion. Matt Moscona giving you my opinion here today. Brian Kelly, 63 years old. About a month ago, he was asked about this era, right, and working with a general manager in Austin Thomas. This is not a knock on Austin, by the way. It's just how things are structured. Austin's great at what he does. It's how things are structured. And Brian Kelly was asked about this sort of loosely and if he thought he'd work like this. And he kind of cracked a joke in the way he does, but I think there's some truth in this.
No, it's kind of one of the reasons why I never went to the NFL. If quite honest with you. I just felt like with all my years, it was going to be hard for me to give that piece up. But it's been a lot easier because I like who I'm working with. They love LSU. They're committed to what they're doing. They're really good at what they do. So it's made that kind of transition a lot easier. And I probably should have taken some of those NFL jobs that were offered years ago. No, I'm kidding.
So, he's cracking jokes because that's what he does. BK's big on the dad humor, the dad jokes. They very seldom land, which I think is actually endearing. It's kind of funny. The fact that they're so bad, they never land. But anyway. I could see a reality where, at the end of this season, at 63 years old, a team that was all in, veteran quarterback, $18 million transfer, but he put up $1 million. Y'all, this man, for all of you who crap on him, put up $1 million of his own money. $1 million of his own money to try to build this roster. You don't think he's all in this year? Dude is all in this year. Say what you want. How many of you put a damn dime up? That man put $1 million. He makes, who cares? You ain't put up $1. He put up $1 million of his own money. Dude is all in this year to win. So you have a disappointing year. You come up short. Fans are dogpiling on you. Pressure's ratcheting up. You never wanted this style anyway. You like to recruit and develop. Do you say at this point, I'm good? Go do TV like Nick's doing. Don't have to worry about portal, NIL, any of that stuff. Rev share, GMs, players want to get paid. Take it to the house. Maybe. Again, Matt's opinion rooted in nothing. I'm not breaking news. I'm not reporting anything. I'm just giving you my opinion. That if you want the Brian Kelly era to end, that's the only path that I see it happening after this year. If he decides he's done. And I think a big part of that has to do with how the rest of this season plays out. So we'll see. Great opportunity this weekend with the Aggies coming in. Please leave your comments. I love to interact. And be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.